Hey y'all, welcome back to Convos with Bree. I'm Bree, BREE, and today is day 89 of the Visibility Challenge. Today is also my person's birthday. Happy birthday, Marco. Today I'm going to talk about us and I'm going to talk a little bit about just how surprising our relationship has been. And if you're watching the video on YouTube, you will see that Penny Girl is on my lap. It is storming again, and she is very afraid of the storm. So let's wish Penny Girl here some storm soothing, energy and help her get through that. Who else has dogs that just absolutely hate when the weather outside weathers? So today I want to talk a little bit. I'm not going to get in it too in depth, but Marco and I have been so many people together in our relationship. We've been friends for a really long time. And then in 2019, we started dating. We were both in a really, really tough spot. We were pretty lost. We didn't really know what we were going to do, or we were just questioning everything, questioning ourselves, our existence, everything we had done up until that point. We both were just flailing, and life had gotten really hard. And then we hadn't talked in a while. And then Marco messaged me because he knew that I was really going through it and I was dealing with a lot of grief. And he just wanted to check in on me as my friend. And that was the first time he had really done that. He had really just been my friend. And it was different. And he was hurting. And he wasn't in a place to try to date me or try to, be anything other than my friend. So we started talking for a bit, just as two people who completely understood what we were going through. And it really bonded us together. And then we didn't talk for a little while. We were both kind of just doing our thing. And I didn't think that I would ever date again. I really didn't. I just didn't think that I had the space in my heart to ever trust anything again like that. I didn't trust love anymore. I didn't trust life. I didn't trust that aspect of life, and I didn't want to get hurt again. Little did I know that Marco and I would in fact start dating, and I would in fact get hurt. In fact, I would get my heart trampled on. He would stir up every single part of my life that I had stuffed down and just tried to pretend was okay my way through. He turned over every single place in my past that I needed him to shake up. I needed those spots to shine light on what it was that I really needed. And he changed my entire perspective on everything I had been through in the past, everything I wanted in my future, and everything I saw in my present. And he saw me so clearly. Where he struggled to see himself, he never struggled to see me. And I feel like we both did that for each other. I could clearly see him from the moment we met, but he could not clearly see himself. I could not clearly see myself. We were missing our own magic. And we were a couple of self-sabotaging kids who really didn't have any idea how to communicate healthily, how to love in a healthy manner. We didn't know how to let somebody really in. We wanted it. We both wanted it more than anything, and we tried, but we had these beliefs that we didn't even realize. These beliefs that were stopping us from truly letting anyone in, from truly allowing ourselves a shot at real love. And it took both of us hurting each other. It took both of us messing up. It took both of us being extremely human. And it took both of us being willing to work through it. We both wanted to find our way to each other through absolutely everything. And ever since I was young, like really young, I always knew that love was not this fairy tale, this no fighting, no hurting each other, just love and perfection all around. I have always known that love would be real love. My true love would be imperfect, but he would be perfectly imperfect for me. And at the end of the day, my true definition of being loved correctly was somebody who, no matter what, just didn't want to quit. They wanted to fight their way through the discomfort for answers. They would still mess up. They would still hurt me, but then we would talk about it. We would get through it. We would change. We would understand ourselves more deeply. We would let go of things that were holding us back, and we would evolve into better humans who loved each other more deeply, more easily, more naturally. We would help each other through all of these really hard spaces that neither one of us could figure out. And every time I thought I had that before, they left, or I left, or we just didn't quite get it. We couldn't quite align. And I always knew that if they were my person, we would find our way back. And we didn't. But Marco and I always have. And every single time, it has been filled with more love, more connection, more work, more understanding, more adventures. And we have evolved and changed so much that us today wouldn't even recognize who we were when we started. I'm so proud of us. And our story is so unique. It is so beautiful. It is inspiring. It is heartbreaking. And it restores my faith and love in a very human, very real way. I think that so many of us, we think that if someone hurts us, that's it. But I know that if we keep seeing the same patterns, we're looking for someone to help us break our own things as well. And every time we've gone through a low, every time we've had a moment where we're like, how do we get through this? What do we do from here? It's made us better. And I think it's all about perspective. It's all about willingness to understand, willingness to see each other, understanding that our human experience doesn't always make sense. But if somebody is open to diving in deeper, that's where it's at. And we're both always open to diving in deeper. I've had people tell me throughout our time together that I deserve somebody who wouldn't ever hurt me. But the thing is that nobody hurts the one they love intentionally. It's their own struggles that they're dealing with. And when I was hurting him, I certainly wasn't trying to hurt him. I was struggling. I didn't know how to use my words. I was stuck inside. I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do or how I was supposed to do it. Sometimes I would literally know exactly what I needed to say, what I was going to say. And then the moment I had to actually open my mouth and use my words, I would freeze, unable to communicate with him what it is I so badly needed to communicate with him. And instead of being endlessly frustrated with me, he used his words with me. He asked me the right questions. He got it. He helped me to get it out. And he asked me things that point blank I could not deny. I could not work my way out of. It was extremely helpful. He could see me struggling. So instead of just letting me drown, he gave me a life raft. And when he hurt me, I knew I needed to do the same for him. This was something bigger than us. And we just uncovered so many layers. And when people tell me what they think that I should have as a partner or what I deserve, what they don't realize is that I do the work every single day. There is no off days. If we get into an argument, we are diving in, we are figuring it out, we are coming through this. I cannot sit in that stagnant energy of an argument. I cannot sit in things that are unfinished. And he is the same way. He actually, throughout our relationship, has been the one that would have rather fixed it faster. But I had to process. I had to figure things out. I had to change my perspective and open my mind. And he truly helped me to do that. And he has helped me become this version of myself that I have always craved. I thought that everything I craved existed in another person. And while that is true, there is another truth that I was completely missing, and that is what I was craving from myself within. And it was like he always knew the path that would get me there. And he was never afraid to get me there. And he always knew how to get me there. There were so many times that I felt like I was just digging my heels in and he was just dragging me. It was like he knew what was on the other side and he knew I needed to see it, but he couldn't tell me what it was. He knew that he just had to show me. And I wasn't very trusting. And I also wasn't really admitting that I wasn't very trusting. And I just thought that I was right and he was wrong. And I was scared and I didn't know how to get out of my fear. I didn't know how to live a life that wasn't led from fear. I had never done that before. My emotions were driving the car. And then he challenged every single aspect of what I believed. And every belief I thought I had about myself and about my life, he would test me. He would get me to see that what I thought I believed was not true. I was scared. I was not this brave, magical person then. I was just scared and stuck. I was frozen and I wasn't moving. I was playing it extremely safe. And I had no desire to feel unsafe. And then Marco took my hand. And as much as I still didn't want to be unsafe, and as much as I was internally just freaking out because I was overwhelmed with new emotions. I love him so much and I want this so badly. And that was scary because that made me vulnerable again. That made me susceptible to more pain and more hurt and more loss and more grief. But as much as he pushed me, as much as he tested me and changed me and tried me, he also knew how to hold me. He also knew how to say, I know you're scared, but it's okay. And he just held me. And he let me be safe with him. And he let me be fully myself. He loves me unconditionally. And I love him unconditionally. And we can truly, truly say that and have the experience to back it up. We are proof that love can truly change people and that it doesn't have to be a perfect story, that it can be rocky AF, it can be scary AF, and it can be incredible and amazing, and it can break you both wide open. And everyone around us changed with us too. I absolutely love the life that we have built. He is my favorite part of every day. There has never been a moment that I wasn't excited to get back home to him or for him to get back home to me. I have never went to bed and thought I wanted to be anywhere else. I just wanted to be where he was. And we had a really scary time where I almost lost him. And he was laying in that hospital bed, and I didn't know if we'd have more time to make memories. I didn't know if we would celebrate more occasions together, have more birthdays, have more anything. And in that moment, all of my greatest fears were coming true. I honestly didn't know how in the world I would do life without him. But I did. I did it. I sat in that room and I prayed and I hoped and I believed in magic and I trusted the process and I believed in us. And he did it. He pulled through. He made it. But then he had to go back to Iowa and I was in Arizona and I had to figure out how to live without him. And I didn't know if we would have more time together. Everything was so weird after that surgery. He wasn't himself. We didn't feel the same. It was so different, and nothing made sense. And I thought for sure that was the end of our story. But then our friendship renewed and became stronger than ever. And then we started dating long distance. So we started all over, and it was magical, and it was better than it had ever been. And I fell in love all over again. And then one day he came back to Yuma, Arizona, and he came back for me. And we have been together every day ever since. And I have been so unbelievably grateful for all the time, all the adventures, all the memories, everything that we've gotten to do. Everything that has grown us and changed us has been worth it. Every high, every low, every adventure, every mishap, it has all been worth it. And I understand everything so much more deeply now because of him. I am so grateful. I never could have predicted any of this. I never could have imagined or dreamt up any of this. But it has all been exactly what it needed to be. And I love him now more than ever. And life is absolutely beautiful with him. Sometimes it's not about what the other person can give us. It's about who we are when we are with them. And who I am with him is my favorite version yet. And that just keeps being more true every single day. I am so grateful for every piece of our journey, and I am so grateful for every piece that we get. He is my constant reminder to live in the right here, right now, and to trust fiercely, and to believe in us, to believe in him, to believe in myself. I just love him very much, and he is my home. I hope that everybody experiences love, true, human, imperfect, perfect love. I hope that everyone gets to find these pieces of themselves in something that is such a magical roller coaster. I hope that we get to just keep happening. And I hope that this birthday is magical, and I hope that he feels loved, and I hope that he feels excited to be here. And if you love somebody, just tell them. Just tell them. Just let them know. Love is always worth it. Even when it hurts, even when it doesn't last, and especially when it does. All right, y'all. Remember, this is ever changing, ever evolving, and our perspective can always change. We can expand. We can think about things and see things differently however we want to. They can be for us or they can be against us. But every single piece of this journey is an opportunity to learn, to evolve, to grow, to understand and connect more deeply with something that is so much greater than just us. You can read the full reflection over at convoswithbree.com. You can go back and see all of the other ones. You can watch the visibility challenge videos. You can book a one-on-one with me. We can definitely break it down. We can see where you can shake things up, where you can feel a little more open, a little more connected within. And Marco, happy birthday, baby. I love you so very much. Thank you so much for everything you bring to my life, for all the beautiful, beautiful adventures, moments, for just every piece of this. With you, Todo posible. All right, y'all. Be here now. And remember, nothing that is meant for you will miss you.